Meet Bridget and Jen, your go-to gals for laughs, wisdom, and real talk on the podcast Don't Get Me Started. From relationships to finding joy, they'll keep you inspired and entertained through life's adventures after 50. So hit that subscribe button and join Bridget and Jen for Don't Get Me Started.
Hello and welcome to Don't Get Me Started. I'm Jen.
I'm Bridget.
And we're back for another episode. And as you can tell, it's a special Valentine's Day episode. We both have our Valentine's Day sweaters on. So let's celebrate.
If you celebrate Valentine's Day. If you celebrate Valentine's Day.
This is true. This is true. So let's face it, haters and complainers can bring down your vibe faster than any cloudy beach day. In this episode, we are not just going to talk about Valentine's Day, which is all of the love. We are also going to share some strategies on dealing with negativity, whether it's self-judgment, outright criticism, or constant complainers. You all know those constant complainers. Don't get me started.
Don't get me started. The bigger our audience, the more haters we get. Do you know that?
Yeah. So we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it lighthearted, and we're going to offer some tips to protect your peace and keep your joy intact. Plus, we're going to honor Valentine's Day. So let's kick off with some Valentine's Day stories. I mean, right? I'm sure we both have plenty.
Honestly, when you first brought it to my attention to honor Valentine's Day, so I am such a skeptic when it comes to I don't know, any holiday other than Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I don't like them because most of the banks and post office close and I can't get business done. Okay.
Right.
But Valentine's Day, first of all, is it's a massacre. Do you know that? The real story behind Valentine's Day? It's a massacre. There's nothing.
What a great way to celebrate love.
Well, anyway, okay, so that's that. And then it's a very stressful holiday for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Mm-hmm. You know, I am like you when it comes to holiday. I'm not really a holiday girl. Now, I'll say that when my kids were younger, I always did something special for the holidays.
Of course.
Baked the cookies, made the little. So when I think Valentine's Day, I think of the little boxes that we used to make for school Valentine's Day.
But it wasn't that stressful. What if you didn't get a Valentine from the person or what if you didn't get somebody didn't walk in with a red carnation for you? Did you have that?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Golly, if you weren't going steady with somebody
Yeah.
and somebody didn't walk in with a red carnation or a pink friendship carnation,
Oh, that's right.
or was it a white secret
It was a
admirer?
white one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's tough stuff. I mean, I loved the little envelopes with candies in it when they were really little. It seems like the older you get with Valentine's Day, the more stressful that holiday becomes,
Right.
and the pressure put on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is going to turn into a heated debate, on Valentine's Day right now versus love and kisses, what it really is supposed to be. Do you and your husband celebrate Valentine's Day?
I wouldn't. That's a good one. So I was getting my hair done the other day, and my cute little hair girl, who I absolutely adore, she was actually a classmate of my son's.
Oh
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She's adorable. She says, "Oh, I made my." Now this is January when she's telling me this.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "Oh, I made my reservations for my boyfriend and I for Valentine's Day." I went, "Wow, you're really on top of it," because I don't think about that stuff. But Valentine's Day being on a Friday, I went home and made reservations.
Oh, you did?
I did. But we're not going anywhere different. We're going to a restaurant that we always go to.
Yeah.
So it's not really anything different or special. It's just,
But do you always do that?
No.
No?
No, I mean, we always go out on either Friday or Saturday.
Oh,
yes.
okay, but not just because it's Valentine's Day.
Not just because, if it falls on a Thursday or a Wednesday, no.
Right.
Definitely not a Wednesday. Wednesdays are his guys' nights. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when Dan and I started dating, I think one of the prerequisites, one of the things I said to him was, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Because you know what, we took it off the board completely.
Yeah.
Okay, which makes it easier for both of us. He's cheated a couple times in the very beginning. You know, like even though Bridget doesn't want anything for Valentine's Day,
Right.
I'm still gonna slide her
Yeah.
a couple of tickets to James Taylor.
Oh, how nice.
He did that twice.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
James
I'm
Taylor.
like, you cheated,
Yeah.
you know, but
But maybe it was just because he needed an excuse to give you tickets.
true.
You know?
Yeah, and we were still recording.
Yeah.
Courting, dating. But no, like even maybe I'm just odd, but to stand in the Hallmark aisle and try and find a card in there that fits the way I feel about my husband. It drives me crazy.
Because cards are like $6. I'm like, are you serious?
that
I'm
too.
gonna spend $6 on something we're throwing out?
That too.
Not happening.
But
That he's gonna like barely read.
yeah,
I
the
don't even read
verbiage.
cards in my parents.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The verbiage kills me. So there's that, and then it just feels like, what is it? Is the card and the gift that I give, does that show how much I love my husband?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And we, like, seriously, as corny as it sounds, flipping celebrate it every day.
Thank you. That's exactly
Every day.
And that's how I feel about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I feel like every day, you know, we do this whole November, we're grateful, whatever, you know, people do
Yeah.
grateful in November.
Yeah.
Your guys needs to be grateful every
Yeah,
day.
every
If
day.
you woke up, you should be grateful that God gave you air to wake
Don't get me
up.
started. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
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 So
that's how we celebrate Valentine's.
what about you? How do you
Valentine's.
feel?
And people probably thought, oh, how sweet. They've got their Valentine's Day sweaters on and they're
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be.
and it just took a turn.
we took a big ball of fire on that one.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, that's just the way that it goes.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have all dealt with haters and complainers and energy vampires in our lives. So let's say goodbye to Valentine's Day and move on to sharing some tips and stories to help us navigate the negativity that, you know, we encounter in our lives and ways that we can stay sunny, right?
I'm going to use that term from now on. I like that, the energy vampire.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that a great one?
I've never heard that before. No.
There's a book by John Gordon that talks about it's people that just suck the life out of you because all they're doing is complaining, right?
Yeah.
And you know, that's exactly what they are. They're energy vampires, right?
Yeah.
I think before we get really into it, though, let's talk about people who criticize. Like, what is the definition, would you say, of like haters?
Okay. A hater would be somebody, first of all, getting into something that's not in their business. Does not, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all, first of all. And I've learned keep scrolling. I've learned they're not going to, but you know, honestly, who's been a big help to me is my daughter Kate and my husband, because they both got my back.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all I have. It feels like sometimes
Yeah.
that's all I have, you know? And because in the very beginning of when my social media took off, in the very beginning, I was not prepared for it and couldn't handle the haters.
Yeah.
I hadn't had them before, you know?
Right.
And so Katie and Dan both sort of reminded me that the wider your audience becomes, the more riffraff starts sprinkling in from the outskirts,
Right.
you know? And jealousy, I would say, would be the number one trigger for people and their nastiness. Jealousy, competitiveness, stuff that does not come naturally to me. I'm not that way, so therefore it's hard for my brain to understand somebody else acting that way. But if you've got a complete stranger that just hates you, you know, it's either something that, you know, I don't know. I don't, it's on them,
Yeah.
it's on them, and I've learned to stop trying to figure it out.
Yeah, but I think our listeners can also, you don't have to have this large social media following to have haters in your
True.
life,
Yeah.
right? I
Right.
mean, they
Oh,
could
heck
be,
yeah.
people that are within your circle or at your workplace or, and at your church or,
Oh, yeah. It's just because somebody chooses to be in your company. Katie told me this actually,
yeah,
because she can see things going on with me that I don't see.
Yeah.
So she'll remind me that just because you've got people that appear to be your friends,
mhm,
Kate said, the majority hopefully are people that are your friends and your cheerleaders and truly want what's best for you
mhm,
and like to cheer you on.
right,
But then there's the other group that appear to be doing the same. However, they are jealous and competitive and don't want you to succeed. So they're going to
Mhm.
talk behind your back,
Right.
and they're going to be secret haters. And I've got real accounts of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
And again, it comes back to how you handle that.
The hardest thing that I've done recently to handle that was I actually had a friend for a few years. She was a friend of mine and a close friend, I thought,
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into all the minutia about the whole thing, but it was the first time in my life. It was the first time in my life that I had to divorce a friend, fire a friend.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
No.
There's no guidebook. There's nothing that tells me how to do that. But it had to be.
But sometimes you have to set your boundaries.
I did, and I'm not, like I said, I'm learning to work on boundaries, but I had to make it black and white, cut and dry,
Mhm.
and the no contact rule, because of that person's personality. If I didn't have boundaries,
Mhm.
I guess just like anybody, they sneak back in. They sneak
Right.
back in slowly, and
Mhm.
it was just it was very toxic for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I put up with it for so long. I had everybody telling me that it was bad for me. But
Yeah.
I guess maybe I was afraid of losing a friend. I
Right.
guess.
Well, yeah, and that a lot of times that's what it comes down to, because especially if we've had these friends for so long, they've just been a part of our life. We can't imagine our life without them. But then it's like, well, why not, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a big risk, but I can tell you that it felt and feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The other type of person that we often deal with is the passive aggressive. That's my favorite. That's my absolute favorite. But
do you have people in your life that are passively
most
aggressive?
certainly do.
Me too.
Most certainly do.
Me too.
And you just, again, it comes down to making sure that you set boundaries and 0 F's given,
Yeah.
because at this point in my life, I don't have the space, I don't have the energy for that kind of behavior.
I agree, and I've set boundaries, and the kind of passive aggressive behavior that I'm referring to, that I'm familiar with, is where if somebody wants my help, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess that he wants my help. For some reason, they won't ask directly for help.
Right.
They'll like make this big beat around the bush, try and figure it out. And I know exactly what they're getting at. And I've said multiple times, if you want something, just ask me.
Right.
Directly ask me. And they can't. So, I have to decide, good old Mel Robbins, you know, do I let them? Do I just let them continue with that behavior? It's obviously difficult for them. It's obviously etched in their brain, and that's the only way they know how to ask for something, you know? So do I continue being stubborn and not doing anything until they ask directly, or do I just give in and do what they want?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's where I have a hard time.
Yeah, when it gets to the point where it's just out of meanness.
Oh,
that's where I
okay.
definitely draw the line.
Yeah, for
though.
sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just, I don't need any content.
True. That's true. That's true.
You know, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to wish ill will upon you. But clearly we have nothing in common.
Yeah.
that we need to be together for.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, because it's just, life is too short, you know?
Yeah. We feel that way now.
Right.
We didn't feel that way
That's
younger.
true. Right.
Yeah.
You know, younger is when you're so busy trying to please everybody and making sure that everybody's happy. And not that, you know, I don't think we shouldn't try and, you know, make people happy. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We go around make people miserable, but not at the expense of our own.
Yeah, no, a cute example is yesterday, my sister-in-law called me and she said, because she's had this tradition with her dad where she sends him a certain, like a famous candy company, maybe it's out of New Jersey, I think. And, you know, she said, should I send it to Dad again for Valentine's Day? You know, she wanted to make sure the ingredients and the nuts and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I said, oh God, no. He's got so much candy and cookies in his room, you know, let's think of some alternatives. And then I was continuing doing what I was doing, and I was like, Bridget, so I called her back and I said, you know what? Life is too short, send the candy.
Yeah.
What? Did I turned into an RN for a minute, you know? Golly. So it just, you gotta take each incident at its own, you know?
Right. And then sometimes we also need to understand that these passive aggressive behaviors from these people, it comes from their own issues and not ours.
Exactly. That's what I meant. We can either choose to, you know, put up a blockade and not do anything until they act the way we want them to act. So that was my point. You know, I agree with you. I don't like it. You and I can see it. We can see the behavior. We know what it's called. We don't like it.
Right.
And so do we put our foot down and make them, you know, communicate the way we want them to? It's hard. I know. I get it. It's hard. You know, it's called taking somebody's inventory, you know, and that's what I don't, well, I didn't come up with it. That's just that's from recovery.
You heard it here first.
I wish, but it's where you know you're taking somebody's inventory. You know best. You know best. So and we want to be right. We want to be right. We want to correct them. But sometimes it's not. You know, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Right.
And I didn't make that one up either.
But we got a whole list of them.
I know. A whole list of them.
Sorry,
Don't get me started. So.
Right. But also realizing that not everyone deserves your energy, right?
Yep.
I mean, you know, the energy
slay those vampires.
That's right. Get rid of those energy vampires. Because, you know, so that's another one, the energy vampires. So we talked about, you know, the passive aggressive and the haters, but the energy vampires, the ones that just, you know who they are in your life. Whenever you're around them.
Osprey with the big fish in its mouth.
Oh, cool.
Not big fish in its talons, I mean. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. We're easily distracted.
We're in between the Bay and the Gulf of America.
That's right.
Anyway. Okay, go ahead.
We'll keep going on that one. What were we saying?
Vampires.
Oh, yeah, energy vampires. But we know when we've been around. I mean, there's people that when you leave their presence, you leave and you're like, oh my God, I just feel renewed. I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Like when you are done with this podcast, you're like,
exactly.
wow.
And when we leave each other.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there's people, even if you run into them at the store, you leave and you're like, holy shit, I just feel drained.
That happened to me on Sunday.
Really?
That happened to me on Sunday. I went to a function, a feel-good function, and with full of feel-good people. And this one person came and sat next to me. I'm not even joking you. There were not, I don't think we even exchanged words, Jen. I don't think we exchanged
But
words.
the energy that they were
I
exuding
swear. It was like, I got like one of these. You know, it was just, yeah, it was energy sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because you just think, you know, it's that saying, first world problems, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it could always be worse. You know,
You
I mean,
gotta-
hell, I look out my window and my neighbor's house is completely gone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I have nothing to complain about because I lost whatever we lost, cars,
Yeah.
golf carts,
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh well, my neighbor lost their entire
Yeah.
home. It's gone. The restaurants that were right here, they're gone. People that worked there for how many years lost their job.
Can I tell you the cutest thing? The cutest thing. Speaking of that, a friend of my daughter's, her and her parents live out in California,
Oh gosh.
and I live in the beach. So my daughter's friend is fine, but her parents lost the family home completely and everything in it. And so what the daughter's doing, who I believe lives here, or no, I'm sorry, she lives over there. She's asking all of her friends to all mail one item from their home.
Oh.
Like not a toaster. I don't mean like that.
No.
But I mean like, you know,
Right.
like pack this up in bubble wrap and,
Right.
and ship it there so that, so like I'm looking forward to that. I thought what a sweet daughter and what a great idea.
Right.
So that even when they build their new home, they've got little tchotchkes
Right.
from other people that are sent with love.
Yeah.
Isn't that cute?
That is a great idea. Yeah.
Or you'll end up with a lot of shit that you don't know what to do with.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. One of the two. Yeah. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. But I mean, you know, that's just it. These complainers and energy vampires can just,
Yeah.
you know, just suck the life out of you. And you just have to think, it could be so much worse, you know? Yeah. Not that we don't complain or have bad days, but
It's
at
quick.
the end of the
It's
day,
quick.
right, it's not the state that we live in, you know? I mean, obviously, not every day is sunny on Sanibel.
No.
In fact, it was quite
Honestly,
cold.
life is so good that it's embarrassing to walk around in a bad mood. There's no business. Like there's no room for it, no time for it. And we can have like, you know, give yourself a 30-second pity party, but then move on.
I used to play a game on the bike path when I would run. I would run marathons, so I would do a lot of miles on the bike path here. I would run a lot of miles. And I used to play a game called Sweet or Sour. And every time, because as I'm running, every person that I pass, I smile and wave. I'm not looking to make best friends out there.
Right. Yeah.
But it's really easy to just smile, nod, and I would count how many people would just completely ignore me, how many people, because I would just think, my goodness, you have the ability and the opportunity to be on this path. Your ass doesn't have a smile on it. Something is wrong.
And seriously, for them to even make eye contact and not acknowledge, I know, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right.
I don't
Again,
get it.
not looking to be your best friend, but let's just bring a little sunshine into each other's day. A nice smile. You know,
Do you yell sour? Do you yell that?
Maybe I should.
Yeah.
I should. Do you remember seeing the guy who would run on the path and he would have the sign that said joy?
His name is Art. Yeah, I know.
I miss him.
Yeah.
Is he still?
Yeah, I think I talked to his wife, Robin, and she said something to do with his new job. He doesn't have the hours, the time that he used to have.
Okay.
But Yeah, I'll pass that message along.
Because
Yeah,
I
his
used to
name
love
is
seeing,
Art. I know.
I'm the creepy lady who has photos of him.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Because they would just bring
Yeah.
me such joy.
His
And
name
I was
is
like,
Art.
okay, Art,
Yeah,
you
he lives,
have got
he
it
lives
going
on
on.
the East End.
He
lives on the
does.
East End, yeah.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, God bless
I'll let
Art.
him know, yeah.
And I never understood. He would be out there in the middle of the day. I was like, oh, good Lord, Art. I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
Got some water.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Oh, yeah. But that's just it. There are so many things in our lives that could be so much.
Did we even
Works.
explain what we were talking about, what art does? I don't think we said what art does. Art runs down the bike path holding a sign up in the air that says joy or love or peace.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't know that we said that.
I don't know if we did or not, but
That's what art does.
yeah. Art's amazing.
And everybody goes, ha ha.
Yes.
Yeah. Sweet people.
Yeah. Yeah. So, should we get into our nail salon wisdom? I mean, why not, right? So I'll give you my nail salon wisdom. And that is that not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Save the best views for those who cheer you on.
I like that. I like that. It's like you hang on to your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
You hang on to your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
My nail salon wisdom, as you know, because this is what I thought it was when Jen and I first started, my actual literal nail salon wisdom is that when you're getting your nails done, speak your mind.
Yeah.
Communicate properly, unlike me. This is like my fourth style color in 4 days. So that's my nail salon wisdom for the day.
Oh, I love it. All right. So let's just remember that haters don't deserve our time or energy.
Slay the vampire.
Yep.
Slay the vampires.
Yep. Chronic complainers need boundaries and a good dose of positivity.
Yep.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And definitely those boundaries, though. Because I don't think, here's the thing, if somebody is a chronic complainer, you're not going to change them.
No, and and when you leave them, you do not owe them an explanation.
Yeah.
Because all that's going to do is keep them coming back.
Right.
They're not going to change their behavior.
Right.
They want an explanation. They want to still hang by you because they need your energy. Walk away, and you don't need an explanation. They'll figure it out.
Yep. Let's take a moment to invite our listeners to share their own hater or complainer stories on either our Facebook page or on our YouTube.
Yeah, go check out our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Obviously called Don't Get Me Started. I've got some polls on there. We always put clips of the upcoming podcast, and we love your feedback.
Yeah. So make sure you are communicating with us because we want you to feel like you are a part of this conversation, to feel seen and heard, and to be with us.
Yeah. Cheers, besties.
All right. Is that all we have for today?
I think so.
All right. Then until next time.
What? Shoot. Let me. Is it on there?
It's not on here. But I think it was.
Stay tan and toasty. Stay
sun-kissed and sassy.
Stay sun-kissed and sassy, my besties.
That's right. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
I don't even remember what mine was. It was something like.
What was yours?